Coming up on the Suze Orman Show. The best financial move you could ever make, and it's as simple as talking about your money. Also, girlfriend, you originally wrote into the Suze Orman Show because you have $64,000 of credit card debt, and you wanted to know, should you bankrupt this debt? How does it sound if I were to say, it is possible and probable that if you do what I tell you to do tonight, that you will be a millionaire by the time you are 67. How does that sound?
That sounds incredible.
And you ask me, can I afford it?
I'm a huge believer, and I love Justin Bieber, so I want to buy his meet and greet tickets.
I have his songs on my playlist. And
Oh my gosh.
I know, can you believe it? Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching The Suze Orman Show. Tonight, I want to talk to you about talking about money. You still refuse to tell people how much debt you have, how much money you make, that your business maybe is failing, that maybe you just got a big inheritance and your boyfriend doesn't even know about it. You refuse to talk about a topic that touches every single one of your lives, as well as the lives that you happen to be in relationship with. And here is the problem. If you don't talk about maybe the most important part of that relationship that you have with money, somebody else has with money, it is going to backfire on you. It is going to be the reason that you are not successful in areas that you could easily be successful with if you just weren't so secretive. So I am asking all of you to vow that tonight is the night you stop being secretive about a topic that needs to be talked about, that you should want to talk about. There is nothing wrong with money. There is nothing wrong about talking about money, and there is nothing wrong with standing in your truth and telling people about your financial situation. I have always said, if we just simply talked more about what was real, we told everybody what was real rather than showing them all these fake things about us, these fancy handbags, these fancy electronic gadgets, fancy home with fancy furniture and fancy cars. If we just talked about the truth of our financial situation, you could change your lives around today so that your tomorrows would be one that you can enjoy your money rather than still having a financial secret. So that's what tonight is all about. Ready to get honest? I hope so. Let's go to Florida. I miss Florida. Anyway, Beth, what do you need to know tonight?
Good evening, Susie. I inherited some money from my dad's passing. I therefore created a trust and revocable living trust. I have about over $1 million in municipal bonds. I have no debt whatsoever, and I recently sold my home in New York, which I put the money into the municipal bonds to move to Florida. I now live with my boyfriend, and the problem is I need some advice on what to do with this money, as I can't ask him because he doesn't really know, he doesn't actually know at all that I have it, and I don't want it to...
Whoa, you just moved in with your boyfriend. You move in with somebody because you're thinking that maybe you want it to be more serious. Why is it that you don't want him to know that you have $1 million?
In the past, it's ruined relationships with partners, and my dad always taught me to be private about your finances and not say anything about it.
I have to tell you, I disagree with your father, rest his soul, but that when you are secretive about your finances, that's when you start to have trouble in a relationship. Now, maybe your father felt that way because he had problems in his relationships. Who knows? But in today's day and age, it is important that if you are in a relationship that you think is going to get serious, that he needs to know about your money, you need to know about his money, you need to know about the money he has as well as the money he doesn't have. Does he have credit card debt? Does he have student loan debt? Is he a big tipper? Is he responsible? Is he not? But with that said, The question
I
really is...
I do know about his finances.
Oh, so this isn't an equal thing. You know about his, but you don't want him to know about yours. What is that? That's not a foundation for a relationship. Is it?
No, I guess not.
It's not. And so what you saw about his finances, did you not like?
No, he has no credit card debt whatsoever. He doesn't have much money to him, but he has a decent salary, and I love him very much. And, you know.
And Beth, are you hoping one day that this boyfriend is your husband?
We're moving towards that step, but again, I just feel that with me having $1 million and him only having like $40,000 in his bank account, I don't want that power thing, you know?
Yes, but here's what's going to happen. One day he's going to find out that you had $1 million, and he's going to say to you, Beth, when did you get the $1 million? And you're going to say 4 years ago, and he's going to say, why didn't you tell me then? And you're carrying this secret. And really, that's far more important than what to do with the $1 million. It's in municipal bonds, good. Leave it in municipal bonds. I mean, you know, hopefully it's giving you $40,000 or $50,000 a year of tax-free income. You are never to put his name on that money. You keep it separate. It will always be yours, and that'll be fine. But I absolutely think that you should tell him. And if it causes trouble in your relationship, you better find out now before you get into this too deep. But you are not to keep secrets about your money from somebody that you say you seriously love. Sandy, are you out there?
I sure am.
Well then, Sandy, come on in here and ask me your question.
Susie, I'm trying to decide whether it's time to pull the plug on a business that I've owned for 27 years. I haven't told anyone yet, but now I'm almost just making payroll and not paying many bills. I've put my personal savings into the business, and I have nothing left. There are 3 employees who've been with me for over 20 years, and we've watched each other's families grow up. We've all put people over money, and now I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Why is it? Here's what, you know, my real question to you is, why have you kept this just to yourself? What was your fear that if you told people, oh my God, the business isn't doing well, oh my God, I have to put my own personal money in it, what kept you from telling people quite a few years ago now, I assume, that your business wasn't doing well?
Well, I did gather the 2 biggest employees and the ones who I'm leaving my business to in my will if I die before it closes. I told them a couple years ago that I had 1 credit card left that had $25,000 on it, and then after that I didn't know what we could do. But I'm so, I don't know. I don't want to hurt them. I don't know.
Sandy, you don't want to hurt them, and in not wanting to hurt them, you have destroyed yourself.
I know.
And now you're going to end up hurting them at a time of life when they're older. And if we had just dealt with this maybe 10 years ago, they could have been younger to really deal with their situation. Yeah? Yeah. You got that?
Yeah.
We never help anybody by keeping the truth about our financial situation to ourselves. Do you see your business turning around at all?
No.
No. All right, Sandy, let it go. Let it go. Stand in your truth. Tell everybody what they need to hear. But most important, know that you have got to save yourself, because you are at the point in life where time is closing in on you. Now is the time. Now is the time, Sandy. Sandy, now is the time. The only thing that bothers me about everything that you have said since you came on the air is I have not, oh, does that scare you?
Yes.
A little bit. And later, in wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
So I want to buy a Gucci Boston bag. I just graduated from Marquette, and I finally got a job. I know I can resell it. It'll be vintage in a little while. I need my bag.
Let me in on the secret. How are you going to pay for this?
I'm going to use one of my checks and just go down to the store.
Welcome back, everyone. You know, the decision to claim bankruptcy is never an easy one. And that's the question at hand for my one-on-one guest tonight, Erin. Now, Erin is coming to us from Los Angeles. She is a 43-year-old divorced mother of 2 daughters, ages 7 and 9. She's a surgical physician's assistant, and Erin makes what looks to be a good living, everybody, $107,000 a year. However, she has $64,000 of credit card debt, $17,000 in student loans, $8,000 in 401k loans, and $20,000 in a car loan for a grand total of, drumroll everybody, $109,000 of debt. Erin, how's that sound to you?
Sounds worse when you say it out loud.
It does, doesn't it? You know, that's the problem. We never say things out loud, so we just think if we don't talk about it, they're not true. We can keep a financial secret until, bam. Now, I know one of the reasons that you came to the Suze Orman Show is because you were hit up smack against the credit card wall. You've been using your credit cards to do the excess every month of your expenses, and now you have reached your credit limit. So they're not going to give you any more credit. So now you have no place to turn but me, because the credit card companies aren't going to be there and allow you to live a financial lie any longer. Is that kind of the truth?
Yes.
So what is it that you want to know from me tonight, my dear Erin?
Yeah, mainly, what is the best route for me to take at this point? Because I've completely, as you said, you know, I'm pretty much out of credit. I don't even know how I've managed to last as long as I have. But now it's, you know, what do I do? Because I really have to make sure that my kids have everything they need.
Your kids are 7 and 9. Mm-hmm. They have been going through this with you for a long time. Yes. How do they feel about this?
You know, we talked, and I did tell them that we had to make changes and make adjustments, and that we're not, you know, going out to eat. We can't afford to go to do things. And they've really, especially my oldest, is the first to say something's too expensive.
Now, I want you to keep that in mind, because you thought, I'm going to tell you what you thought, and you'll have to tell me if I'm right or wrong. Mm-hmm. You thought that the reason that you needed to keep up this fake lifestyle was because if you took that away from your kids wouldn't be happy.
True.
So you thought you were doing all of this for your children, mm-hmm. when the truth of the matter is your children were handling it very well.
Better than me.
So now you've put mm-hmm. yourself in a situation where you have $65,000
yes.
of credit card debt, and the truth of the matter is your expenses are almost, right, $1,500 more per month, mm-hmm. right? So yes. $1,410 to be exact, more per month than what you bring in. So something's got to go. I'm going to give you a financial plan, but if I do, how do I know that you're going to stick to it?
I have to, and I want to. I also want them to have a better example. And I know that I can't, unfortunately, expect any other financial help from their father. So I have to be able to do this.
And besides the fact that you wanted to take care of them, mm-hmm. how did you really get to this place that you are?
Just, you know, it's you want to keep going and make things think that everything's fine. And I finally did just, you know, I told my friends that, you know, I just can't keep this up anymore.
Yeah, but here's what, so I see the tears. So everybody, before I give Erin her financial plan, so to speak here, I just want you to know, as you're looking at Erin was in a situation where she's always, believe it or not, been responsible. She's tried her best to make things work, and a lot of this debt came from her marriage, just so you know. So I don't want you to sit there and judge this woman and go, she's got $65,000 of credit card debt. She has a $107,000 a year job. What are you talking about? Because the big mistake that many of you make is when you see somebody's making $107,000 a year, you think that they're bringing home almost $9,000 a month. And the truth of the matter is, Erin does not bring home that much money per month. She brings home $6,140 per month. Big difference, everyone. So here's what I want to say to you, Erin. The only thing that bothers me about everything that you have said since you came on the air is I have not, ooh, does that scare you?
Yes.
A little bit. Is I have not heard you say the word I except to blame yourself. I have not heard you say, I want to take care of myself. I want to be okay for retirement. You still are talking about the kids.
It's true.
And until you change your mindset and you value yourself as much as you value those kids, I'm here to tell you this very well could happen again. But here's the other thing I want to tell you. How does it sound if I were to say it is possible and probable that if you do what I tell you to do tonight, that you will be a millionaire by the time you are 67? How does that sound?
That sounds incredible.
All right. That not only sounds incredible, it is so probable I can't even tell you. Girlfriend, you originally wrote into the Suze Orman Show because you have $64,000 of credit card debt, and you wanted to know, should you bankrupt this debt? Because you've been responsible, you've been paying it, everything has been good, but you have been paying your debt with other credit card debt. You put everything on credit cards. And you can't do that anymore. And you have almost $2,300 a month going simply to credit card payments.
Correct.
Erin, with the utmost of respect, and I never say this lightly, you need to claim bankruptcy. If you claim bankruptcy, here's what your situation starts to look like. Your expenses decrease from $7,500 a month all the way down to $5,250 per month. Now we're not in deficit anymore. I have gone through your monthly expenses, and I want you to cut $600 a month. Okay. If you were to cut $600 a month from your expenses, that brings you down to expenses of $4,650 per month, which gives you $1,400 in excess rather than in deficit. If you then take $1,000 a month to start paying off your student loan, and if you took $400 a month to fund a retirement account or emergency account for yourself or whatever, in just a few years from now, 2 or 3 years from now, you will be out of student loan debt, correct?
Yes.
Once you're out of student loan debt, a year or two after that, guess what else? Your car payment is gone. Now we have $2,000 a month eventually to save for your future. If you save it, and you do it correctly, even just at a 4 or 5% interest rate, that along with everything else, guess what? You will have about $1 million by the time you are 67. So there is hope here. There's tremendous hope, but it's going to take courage. But the biggest thing that you need to do is, emotionally speaking, you have got to value yourself. You have got to put yourself first. You have to stop worrying that your kids aren't going to be okay. Your kids will be more than fine, but only if their mama becomes the financial warrior she was born to be. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. We will be in touch with you. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I want to buy a 1967 Camaro convertible for about $30,000.
Do you know that if you took that $30,000 right now and invested it, you would have $175,000 conservatively in 30 years?
I did not know that.
Also,
I'm a huge believer, and I love Justin Bieber, so I want to buy his meet and greet tickets.
$650 to buy a ticket when you have almost $5,500 in student loan that's deferred? Do you think that's wise?
I don't know.
What do you want to buy?
iPad Mini, 1967 Camaro convertible.
Gucci Boston bag.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in. You tell me what it is you want to buy. I don't judge what you want to buy, although some of you want to buy the wackiest of things, but that's besides the point. I simply ask you a few questions about your money. You answer, and I tell you if you can afford it or not. Ready? Play along with me. All right, Mike, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I want to buy a 1967 Camaro convertible for about $30,000.
You want to spend $30,000 on a car that's like 40, 50 years old. What's up, boyfriend? Why?
I know. My father owned one about 27 years ago. He owned it, and he had to let it go for financial difficulty. But I found one online, and I want to buy it, give it to him for a little while until I get out of the Navy. And then we can take it back when my kids are older.
Yeah,
and we're a little less transient.
Yeah, here's what's so funny about what you just said. Your father had one and he had to sell it because he got into financial difficulty. Yet, son here wants to spend $30,000 thinking he'll never get into financial difficulty and just possibly recreate the same situation that your dad had. But that's not the point here. Show me the money.
All right. My income is $8,500 a month take home. Expenses, $7,060 a month. My only debt is my home mortgage. It's $210,000 with a 30-year fixed at 3.9%. My savings, I've got $182,000 in liquid, $157,000 in investments, and $79,000 in retirement. And I'll retire from the military in about 5 years, which will give me a pension there for the rest of my life.
And how are you going to pay for this?
I would write a check.
So you're just going to take $30,000, right? And you're just going to immediately just buy this car outright and give it to him, yes?
That was the plan.
All right. And do you have kids?
I do. I have 4 kids under the age of 6.
Oh, 4 kids under the age of 6. So as I'm looking at this money and I'm looking at college education and I'm looking at things like that, I don't know. I don't quite see the money. So this one's kind of easy. You are denied. But let me tell you really why you are denied. You don't really have enough in retirement. I know that you're going to get a pension from the military, but all kinds of things are happening in life right now where you need more and more money to live, especially if you have 4 kids under the age of 6. Do you know that if you took that $30,000 right now and simply put it aside and invested it, you would have $175,000 conservatively in 30 years?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Wouldn't you rather have in 30 years from now, when you are going to retire, an additional $175,000? Otherwise, you're going to have this $30,000 in this car. You're driving it. Somebody smashes it. Don't do it, boyfriend. Plus, you can't afford it. You are denied. All right, Jenna, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks.
I'm a huge believer, and I love Justin Bieber, so I want to buy his meet and greet ticket.
You do. You know what? I have to tell you, I love Justin Bieber.
I know you follow him on Twitter.
I do. I just think he is great. I love that he's growing into a mature singer. I have his songs on my playlist. And
my gosh.
I know, can you believe it? But anyway, and he has a concert coming up next month that I really kind of wanted to go to as well. So you never know. Maybe I'll see you there. But $650 for a ticket?
Yes.
Show me the money.
All right, so I take home $800 a month. My expenses are $470 a month, but I also live rent-free.
Yeah.
My debt is $5,400 for a student loan that is at 0% to 6.8. That's deferred. And my savings is $8,200 in liquid.
And how are you going to pay for this?
I was going to take it out of my liquid.
So here's the thing, all right, $650 to buy a ticket when you have almost $5,500 in student loan that's deferred. Do you think that's wise?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. First of all, you are denied. All right, but don't get upset. you can go see Justin Bieber. You are approved, but not to spend $650 to go get one of those tickets. I don't think it's quite what the experience everybody thinks. Just get a regular ticket and go see a concert.
All right, so I guess that's half the deal. I'll take that.
All right, girlfriend, I love that. Bernicia, what do you want to buy?
Hi there, Susie. Tell me something good.
Tell me something good. I'll tell you something good. If you tell me what you want to buy and you show me you have the goods to buy it, I'll tell you something good.
Okay, so I want to buy a Gucci Boston bag. I just graduated from Marquette, and I finally got a job. It's a decent job, and I know I can resell it. It'll be vintage in a little while. I need my bag.
And you need your bag. This is a need. So you're walking down and you see this bag that you think will be vintage in a while. I need this $820 bag, but I need you to show me the money that you're going to keep in this bag. Show me the money.
All right, so it's about, I take home about $2,560.
Yeah.
My expenses come out to $1,897.
Yeah.
$605 for rent, $20,000 car loan, $1,000 student loan, $500 in credit card debt. I don't have any liquid assets, and about $500 in retirement.
Bernicia, girlfriend, let me in on the secret. How are you going to pay for this?
I'm going to use one of my checks and just go down to the store.
And that one of those checks is attached to the credit card, so now you're going to be $1,350 in credit card debt, right?
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Here's what else sounds about right. You cannot be more denied if I tried. This may be the biggest denial that I have given all year. You aren't even close to be able to get this bag. Don't you dare buy this bag. Are you kidding me? Denied one more time. Matthew, what do you want to buy?
I would like to buy an iPad mini.
An iPad mini for $329. Have you tried one of those iPad minis?
Oh, yes. I went to Apple Store and I tried them, and they are so cool. I can play games on them and do my homework on them.
And everything.
So
do you already have an iPad?
Well, my mom does, but she probably wouldn't let me use hers. So, yeah.
Yeah, so
I need a new one.
You need a new one, but $329. Show me the money.
I have currently $60 a month in allowance. I have no expenses. I have no debt. In my savings, I have $500 liquid, $110,000 in college savings, and that's it.
Yeah, well, $110,000 in college savings. Everybody watching this right now is like, what? What's he got in savings? So obviously your parents have put that into savings, but the amount of money that you have been able to save on your own has been $500, or is a lot of that money for gifts and things that people have given you?
Well, I earn that money. That's money I got myself.
You got yourself. So you now want to spend $329 of the money that you got yourself on an item, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And so what do you think I'm going to do? Approve or deny you?
Approve me.
Now, why do you think I'm going to approve you?
Because I have enough money, I think, and I think I'll be still good. I still have enough money for college because of my mom and dad's.
Yeah, you absolutely will have more than enough money for college. I think you'll be good at that. But however, I am denying you. Wait. Are you surprised?
I'm shocked.
Shocked? Let me tell you why. You are about to use over 60% of your savings on one item. You're about to wipe everything that you've saved and worked for out of the window for one item. And I don't believe in that. You have to have saved more money. If you want to use 10% of your savings or something like that, okay. But you are not going to get in the habit on the Suze Orman watch that you use 60% of your money to buy an iPad so you can play games with, borrow your mother's, or get better yet, let her give you her old one and have her go out with her money and buy a new one for her. Want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? All you have to do is go to to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you will find the information that you need to know there to not only come and play with me right here, but look, if we choose you to be on the air, if I denied you, you're going to get a T-shirt that says, I was denied by Suze Orman, and she was right, or an approved T-shirt. Come on, play with me, people. It's a lot of fun. Next, I tackle trending topics in Ask Suze. I think owning a home outright is the absolute best thing you can do with your money if and only if. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are at the control room at CNBC headquarters. So many ways for you to reach me. You can join me on Facebook. You can send in an email. You can tweet me. And if you do send in a tweet, if you put hashtag Ask Suze, it comes to us right here. And if we choose it, oh, we will answer it on the air. Let's see what's trending right now. All right, we have from @Bar of Gold. Is it rude to ask my family to give my kid cash for his first birthday? I'd rather save for college than have more toys. I have to tell you, Bar of Gold, not only is it not rude, it is so smart, I can't even tell you. But it shouldn't just be for the first birthday. It should be for every single birthday. All the money that is spent on toys, in my opinion, is such a waste. What does the kid do? Play with it like 3 or 4 times, and then that's it? And then it just sits there as junk? Turn junk into a bar of gold by asking. And you should ask everybody at once. In fact, you shouldn't ask them. You should tell them that's what you want. All right, let's see what else is trending. @Chris Neff PGH. What is your opinion of paying off your mortgage early? Well, it depends, my dear Chris. Are you at least 45 years of age? Are you going to be staying in that house for the rest of your life? Is that something that you want to do? If so, I have to tell you, I think owning a home outright is the absolute best thing you can do with your money if and only if that's going to be the house that you keep forever. So your goal should be to have your house paid off for in full by the time you retire, right around in your 60s somewhere. If you can do it earlier, okay, but if you're not going to keep this house, do not pay it off early. All right, let's go to webcam now. We have Justin coming to us from New York. Boyfriend, what do you need to know?
Hi, Suze. My question is this. My wife has $12,500 left on a consolidated student loan at 3.75%. And she also has a mutual fund, which has about $40,000 in it. And we want to know if we should cash out part of the mutual fund to pay off her student loan in one lump sum, or should we just continue what we're doing and pay it off monthly?
All right, question for you. Is it a burden for you to pay it off? Is it hard for you to pay it off? Do you just want it out of your life?
I just want it out of my life. I hate having debt. It drives me crazy.
It does drive you crazy. See, if something is driving you crazy, then you should just get rid of it, because once something drives you crazy, then it makes you powerless in all kinds of ways, and it makes your whole life crazy. However, looking at it strictly from a financial viewpoint, at 3.5%, only $12,000. Are you kidding me? I would just continue to pay the student loan, leave the money in the mutual fund, assuming that it's a good mutual fund, because you have so many years for that to grow over time. And so financially, that's what you should do. Emotionally, however, if you hate that student loan, if it is driving you crazy like you say it is, then cash out of the mutual fund, but you have to make sure you don't have any surrender charges. Are you going to have to pay ordinary income tax on that money? Are you going to have to pay capital gains tax? Take all of that in consideration, and then hopefully you'll decide not to do it. Okay, let's go back to the studio, but here's what's coming up next. Douglas wants to know, Suze.
How am I doing?
So, are you sitting down?
I am sitting down, Susie. I'm prepared.
All right, that's a good thing. There's nothing worse than being on the Suze Orman Show and all of a sudden hearing this, which is somebody hitting the floor. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. I'm 50 and single. During my younger years, I lived footloose and fancy-free. I roamed the world without any thought of my older years, and now I see retirement isn't far away. Although I have a savings plan, I know I'm going to need more. I currently work as a school counselor in Alaska. However, my goal is to retire at 67 and move back to the lower 48. Susie, how am I doing?
Good evening, my dear Douglas. How are you tonight?
Fine, Susie. This is an awesome experience. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Anytime. So you know, I've looked through all of your paperwork. I have many thoughts about your situation. But before I tell you what I think, my dear Douglas, assessing where you are right now at 50, wanting to retire in just 17 years from now, if you were going to give yourself a grade, what grade would you give yourself?
Well, Susie, starting out on a positive note, because I work in the school system and mental health field, I would give myself an A- for most improved, but the reality of my situation is I would still have to give myself, at best, a D+.
All right, let's show everybody your finances, and then I'll tell you what I think. You are
Great.
50, you are single. You currently do have $102,000 approximately in your retirement. You have about $10,000 in an emergency fund. You have a home that is in Maine that you are renting out that has a current value of about $206,000. You have consumer debt of $104,000, mortgage debt of $156,000. So total debt is about $260,000. So you have a net worth of about $58,000. How's that feel?
Not so good, but again, I've improved a lot over the past few years.
All right. Currently, you have monthly income take-home of $6,461 a month. You have expenses of $5,605. So you have in excess every single month $856. So are you sitting down?
I am sitting down,
All right,
Susie.
that's
I'm
a
prepared.
good thing. So if I were to give you a grade, I'd give you a D- or an F, because this is the reason why. In answer to your question, how am I doing to be able to retire at 67? Here is what you have going. If you do not change anything other than what you are doing right now, your current expenses are $5,600 a month. And even though I know that your house is going to be paid off in 10 years. I know that your student loan will be forgiven in, let's say, another 7 years. So you have that extra money to invest. Even doing all that, doing exactly what you're doing right now, your after-tax income, including Social Security, will be $4,200. But here's the problem. 17 years from now, when you're no longer working, you should have a long-term care insurance policy. You're going to have to pay for your own medical insurance. So your expenses are going to be right around where they are now, believe it or not. And so therefore, we are $1,400 a month short of your goal if you don't change anything. You still with me?
Great.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah,
wake-up.
I'm glad I was sitting down.
Yeah, me too, because there's nothing worse than being on the Suze Orman Show and all of a sudden hearing this, which is somebody hitting the floor. Okay. So here, however, though, boyfriend, is your way to an A. Currently, you have many items in storage that you are paying for, and you are paying to have them stored. So, for instance, you have a camper costing you $500 a month just to have that camper. You're never going to use it. You are going to sell it. You are taking vacations, $300 a month. You already went all over the world. You need to save this money. You're going to cut it. You're going to increase your Roth IRA. Currently, you're only putting $500 a month in there. You are going to increase it to $541 a month because the max is $6,500 a year now for somebody who is 50 and older. You're going to take your savings that you currently have, and you are going to pay off your credit card debt at 13%. It makes no sense whatsoever to be paying that much in interest rate. Next, you have an extra $856 every month in excess. You're going to put that into your emergency fund until you have at least an 8-month emergency fund, and then you're going to turn around and you're going to start to invest that as well. You are going to sell your home. You're going to sell your home because you have $50,000 of equity in the home, number one. Number two, it is costing you $300 more per month to keep that home than you're getting for rent from that home. And over the next 17 years, don't you think that you are going to need a new roof, a new washer and dryer, a new this, a new that? You don't have the money. So if we could just sell that home now and take that $50,000 along with all these other cuts, which amount to about $2,000 a month, do you know in 17 years from now, after taxes, you are going to have in the $600,000 range. So now you will have $600,000 at the age of 67 that you can use to generate income for you if you want, or you can take that money and buy a house outright. Who knows what you can do? But altogether, if you do that at the age of 67, you will have income of about $6,900 a month, which is something that could get you by, boyfriend. That's your way to an A. Up next, one more thing that I want you to know. Don't wait. Don't keep postponing. You can turn almost every financial situation around. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Well, all night we've been talking about money, which is what I want you to do with everybody. But before we go, there's still just one more thing I want you to know. Sometimes, a lot of times actually, we might get ourselves into financial situations that we actually feel hopeless about. We look at how much debt we have. We look how much it costs us to live every month. We look how much money we have coming in, and we just go, there's nothing we can do about it. So then your solution usually is, I'll just keep going out and charge. Why shouldn't I live the best life I possibly can? Until something happens. I know something will happen, right? Listen, you can turn almost every financial situation around. The younger you are when you stand in your truth about your finances, the more of a chance you have to turn it around. Don't wait. Don't keep postponing. Start to deal with your money. Honest to God, Erin, who was our one-on-one guest tonight, came on this show knowing there was nothing she could do. She would never get out of debt. She'd never be able to retire. And we very simply showed her a way that she'll be a millionaire by the time she's 67. If that can happen for Erin, that can happen for you. Participate on this show with us. Come on this show with me. Be willing to dive into your own personal finances so that we can change your life once and for all. That is the goal of this show, to touch you so that you can live a life that you want to touch versus a life that's just you push it away, you don't want to deal with it, and you don't know what to do. Now you know. So until next week, there's only one thing that I really want you to remember when it comes to your money, and it is this. People first. That means you people. You. People first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe. Bye-bye.